Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there's me. Hello. Alright, why can't I get on Instagram? Am I on Instagram? Hi Robin. Oh, let's see. There we are. Okay. And then let me turn my do not disturb on. Okay, I think hello. Oh, hello. I'm so happy to be back with you. Hello, Robin. Happy Passover. I hope you had a wonderful holiday with your family. I love seeing your pictures. Hello, Michelle. Hello. Oh, I'm so happy to be back with you. I gotta tell you, I just last week, and I'm not, I won't show you my hand. It's really yucky. But I'm better. It was like my whole hand, and this hand is much better, and my knees are better, and the scrapes on my knees and my hips, and it's just a mess, and like my whole body, if you fall down, your whole body hurts, and so I still have boo-boo knees, but and my ankle was very, very swollen and just black and blue, thankfully not twisted or anything, just really just whack. And so the biggest problem really is my left ankle, because I can't really go running just yet, and my hand on my left hand it was such a very big gash to my hand that is much smaller. It's about half as big as it was, and it's icky licking, so I'm not going to show it to you again. That was it. You gotta keep left. That's it. That's all. Okay, so I could not shuffle cards last week. I also could not get enough Motrin in my body. So this week I am happy to say much better. So we will do some cards. We'll see how we do. I do want to say that, and I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, if you've been feeling some kind of way, I want you to understand you are okay, and that you are not, like, there's nothing wrong with you, okay? Because we literally have been having the full moon, more solar storms, because there's just been a barrage of solar energy coming to hit the planet, and we are also in the precursor, the early window, the pre-window of Mercury retrograde, which is going to hit us in about 2 more weeks. So we're already into this, place where we just feel like, energy-wise, right? And then you add in, Saturn and Uranus are conjuncting and talking to each other and doing crazy things up there. There is a lot of energy that is shifting. Not to, mention all of the things that are realigning themselves with, the planet and war and bigotry and strife is a good word, especially along the Passover time. So if you were celebrating Passover on Friday or Saturday and you're still marking Passover this week, I wish you what we say in Hebrew is this in Pesach. I hope you had a wonderful holiday, a beautiful Passover holiday, good observance, yummy food, a joy-filled Seder, meaningful, all of that. If you are an Easter person, I hope you had a wonderful Easter. I hope it was also meaningful. I know the weekend with Good Friday and all the things is very meaningful, and I hope it was poignant and heartfelt for you and your families as well. If you are fasting for Ramadan, And I know there's a few other things that are all going on. Again, we wish you just so much peace and meaning in your journey. So I want to say all of those things. This is the full moon in Libra. And we just came from the moon cycle in Aries. And Aries is so much about me, 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 me. And which explains a lot about people that you may know who are Aries sign in their sun sign. Excuse me. Another one? No, I think that's it. Wait. Okay, sorry, sneeze break. Okay. Hand sanitizer. Okay. Okay, sorry. It is spring in Florida, and all my trees and allergies. So, okay. So we have had this moon cycle in Aries, and now we're in the moon cycle in Libra. And people think of Libra as the scales and equality and justice and balance and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, there is that part of it. I don't know about justice, but the universe is always seeking balance. The universe is always seeking balance. We can't have the good things without the bad things. And so this is, one of those things we talk about, oh, will there ever be peace on earth? And we say, well, yeah, there could be, but that doesn't mean an end to war and strife and prejudice and bigotry and racism and all the hateful things that we have. It would be nice to move to a place of utopia and enlightenment and higher development and people understanding that we don't need war and all of those things. However, I think that the universe really always looking for balance. And so if we have this more rising of the light, which we've been talking about for so long, it will equate with a rising of the dark. There never will be, where one stamps out the other, because the universe will always seek a balance point, a tipping point, a place of equilibrium. And so what we, want, it's like if you've ever stepped on the doctor's scale. The first thing, the one with the bar that goes boink, 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 right, until it finds that place of equilibrium, right? Well, as you get older, like when your kids are little, they step on it and they move that bigger weight on the bottom just a little bit. But as you get to be an adult, that bottom piece is probably like 150 pound, marker. And so there comes a balance point. Let's say you're a person of 150 pounds. This is not about weight, anybody's weight at all. But let's say you're a person of 150 pounds. And so you have moved that weight all the way to the end in order to get that equilibrium. And so it seems like it's way far over here to get that equilibrium. And maybe you need to move the little weight on top just a little bit. So you have this sort of what looks unequal, because ideally, not weighing a person on a scale, but you would have things in balance that look, like this, right? The thing is in the middle, and then you have, balance on either side, right? Like a seesaw. But it doesn't really work that way. And so if you are moving that larger weight all the way over to receive that balance point, maybe you move the top weight, the little one, just the littlest bit, and you receive this balance point, it looks like the weights are going like this, even though the arm that goes bink, 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 bink on that medical scale is balanced. So it doesn't look even, but it's in balance. And this analogy, and hopefully you can follow me on this, is really what we're talking about with balance in the universe. It doesn't look balanced, but it feels balanced. And so where we are right now is we have, as a society, we're looking for this kind of balance, right? I want an even number of people are thriving and there's no war, and and really what we want, we think we're supposed to have this kind of balance. What we want is we want like all of the light and no darkness, right? We don't want any war and strife and hunger, and we want perfection. But that doesn't feed the universe. It's not how the universe runs. And so really what we're looking for is this balance point. And so I'm telling you this thing about this medical scale with this visual, because the big weight that's on the bottom that goes all the way over, that big weight That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. That's the camaraderie, the support, the tolerance, the love, the respect, the protection of each other. I met a man in the river. Hi, from South Africa. I was in the river on Sunday for Easter morning and spent some time in nature at the state park where I protect the manatees. And I met a gentleman who had a tattoo. He had many tattoos, but one of them was clearly Arabic on his arm. And I asked him, I said, what does it say? And it was the most beautiful thing. It said, we will never know peace until we know each other. And I thought, what an incredible quote in any language to have, because that's really the truth. We will never know peace until we can come from this place of I'm sorry, my phone just fell off my, sorry Instagram, fell off my computer. That's because I don't have the hand strength right now to stick it up there really good. So, sorry, bear with me a second. Let me try and fix this. All right, what did I just do? Okay, sorry Instagram. So until we can come from this place of love and respect and tolerance and cherishing each other, even through our differences and celebrating our differences, there will always be this group of people that think we need to be, it's us or them, and it isn't. And so when we look at this medical scale, like if you've ever gone to the doctor, for those of you who weren't here when I started this rambling analogy, if you've ever gone to the doctor and you have to stand on the scale, right, the big medical scale with the big weight that goes bonk, 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 right, and the thing goes doink, 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 doink until it finds its little place of balance. On that lower bar where they have the bigger weight, they move it over bonk, 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 in 50-pound increments to get to a place. Let's say you're a 150, 160-pound person. Again, this is not about anybody's weight, but it's going to move that heavy weight all the way over to the end, and then that little weight you may move a little bit, and so you have one way over here and one way over here to get this balance, to have this sitting peacefully balanced. But the bigger weight is the good stuff. It's who we are, it's what we are, it's the bulk of what we are, which is good and loving and supportive, and people that want the light. And I'm gratified by consistent news reports. Now you have to look for these things because it's the negative stuff that gets all the headlines, right? But here we have in Kenya that they were celebrating the 5th year of women's rights of healthcare and abortion and things like that. And here comes Colorado, that's the 22nd state in our country, in this country, to protect a women's right to choose. And you have states that are doing all kinds of things to protect and create equality among groups rather than creating division and fear and othering. But you have to look for those articles, because the articles that we see on any given news site, for wherever you are on your whatever political beliefs, it's all like, we say if it bleeds, it leads, right? It's all the negative stuff. What are they doing wrong? This is what they're doing wrong. Oh my God, look what they're doing wrong. Whoever they are, right? So it's so important for us to look a little deeper, because the thing is that while the noise is coming from that little weight that makes these small moves, that creates a big difference in that balance, right? The big weight, the stuff that's really important, the majority of who and what we are, is that big weight on the bottom. And that's the thing that's really making the changes. And so while we hear all the noise, underneath, there's a whole lot of other stuff going on. And so it's so important, hi sweetheart, it's so important to be involved and be aware and do all the things that are important to you, to stand up for what you believe is right. But don't get blindsided. I think it's so easy. I hear from so many people, they're filled with anger and rage and frustration and all these things, and I get it, I do, because we have to look a little deeper to get the true news, right? To get just the facts part, the part that's about what's really going on in communities, and not what's going on necessarily at the state or federal level that may or may not have a day-to-day effect on who you are and what you're doing. It might, but looking at what's going on in your communities and where you can shine light in your communities, and where can you be a voice of reason, or where can you stand with someone who is being othered. For me, I'm a outspoken, liberal-minded Jewish woman, and I constantly wear, and I live in Florida, so I constantly am wearing my T-shirts that say "I will say gay," and I'm an ally. And for years and years, I drove a pink Cadillac with Mary Kay. It always had an HRC equal sign on it, and I can't tell you how many people would stop me at a red light or something to say, "You have an equal sign on your car," and I said, "Yes, I do." And they would ask me why. I said, "Well, because I believe that we are all equal. Stop. Full stop. That's it. We all have the same rights. We all have a right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And whether you live in this country or you don't live in this country, that is my belief, my personal belief, because we are all created from divine light. We are all spark of divine light. No matter what country, no matter what your race or your sex or your ethnicity or your political beliefs or your orientation or whatever, we are all a spark of divine light. And so we are all worthy of love and respect and caring and compassion and love and support. And we are all equal, period. And so that's the place we want to come to, where we can look at the people who maybe we completely disagree with, or who are really vocal doing things we don't agree with, and say, yeah, I don't like that. And maybe I don't like that human, but that human soul is still a spark of divine light. That human soul is still part of the same collective that I came from. And so while I may not like that person or what that person is doing, there is a recognition that behind the ego, there is still that spark of divine light. And there's also the understanding that so much of this is operating out of fear of change, fear of disruption, fear of loss of power. And all of this, so much of this is coming from this place of wanting so desperately to hold on to the status quo that we'll do anything to hold on to that and not embrace the change that is coming, because humanity is evolving and people are vibrating higher. And that makes the people who want to hold on to the status quo, who want to go back to the good old days, whatever that was, when we didn't have internet or phones that did everything, and gas was higher than it is even now. I don't know that those are the good old days, but the people who want to go back, these things are about fear of change. And so however much we may disagree with people who are maybe doing things that don't align with our values or our beliefs, behind that ego, that fear, is still a spark of divine light. And so we want to work to hold that compassion, because we can't work towards creating a world that is all about loving each other and respect and tolerance and support and compassion and not dividing people when we turn right around and say that person is bad, that person's evil, that person is wrong, that person should be shot, that person anything, so that we, okay, you are going to be blocked right now. Look, we have our first spammer of the day. Let's see. We're going to block the spammer. Spammers are blocked. All spammers are blocked. Ban. Goodbye. So no, you don't have to add whoever that was, Akin Julie. So we want to be careful that we're not othering somebody else that doesn't agree with us or we don't agree with, at the same time that we are working so hard to create a world that is based on love and tolerance and support and compassion and non-othering. So, it's things to think about. It's things to think about. Okay. So this is what has been on my mind today. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, because I want to give you all of this, because people have been talking to me about this strain of watching what's happening in various parts of the world, especially in Ukraine, and some things that are happening here in the United States. And So people are also talking about, we've got Easter and we've had, all of this stuff with the electrical storms. And so, here we are in this full moon period. So the full moon was Saturday. So we have the full moon energy of Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So we're really at the tail end of that full moon energy. But this Libra, so we started talking about balance, right? That we have this perception of balance with Libra, right? Because we have the scales. But where Aries was really all about me, 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 Libra becomes more about we. So here we come back to this, right? So Libra is so much about we, and it's really a lot about our interpersonal relationships with each other and as a whole, and then also as within our more intimate, and I use the word intimate, I don't mean like sex, I mean like the people closest to you with those relationships. And so recently I had this experience where this person that I am quite close to, and I always had this image of our relationship as being, like sisters, like best friends, and that, this would be, we would tell each other everything, and you could count on each other. And I know that for my part of it, I felt like any time that I was needed in that situation, I was always there with, helping hand or an idea or some brainstorming or food or money or whatever it was. And I kind of had this realization because some things had happened in this time, this waxing period where the moon was going up to this full moon in Libra, that really showed me how to see this relationship in a different light, so that I wasn't constantly either getting my feelings hurt or feeling taken advantage of and feeling very used in the relationship, and to be able to say, oh, okay, I can see this relationship from another perspective, and I just need to shift how I am envisioning the relationship. So it's more reflective of how this person has been viewing the relationship, or this person is treating the relationship. And then I can adjust my expectations so that I'm not the one getting my feelings hurt all the time. So, and that was so freeing. And so that is one of the things that is happening in this time period where you mix in the pre-window of Mercury retrograde, which is coming in about 2 weeks, and you add in to that this full moon in Libra. So now as we're going into this waning phase of the moon, right, that we've had the full moon and starting to, the energy is going to come back down towards the new moon, as we have this waning phase, this is a time for us to really be examining these relationships. And as we come down, it's like, well, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to release? And so this was really a part of it, of like letting go of this relationship of what do this is not serving me in its current iteration in how I'm thinking about it. So I can't tell someone else how to think about something, about our relationship. I need to shift that for myself. And so this is something that I'm sharing to, help hopefully you as well, because there are things you may need to release, or relationships that you're holding on to, or a vision of relationships that you're holding on to. And Libra, especially as we're in this waning part, is really encouraging us to look at those relationships and say, what is no longer serving me here? And it isn't about cutting somebody out of your life, but it could also really be about, how do I reassess this relationship and redefine it for myself to be able to hold this relationship in a new light, so that it's in service of both parties. Okay, I don't want to end my relationship with this person. I don't have that need. I really do care about this person, but I just needed to shift my expectations and shift my definition of how I viewed the relationship, and that created a much different dynamic, and allowed me to not be holding on to anger and resentment and be like that, but to be able to say, okay, I see this as this relationship for what it is, or more for how this other person is seeing this relationship. And great, now we can both be on the same plane, and now we can go forward with joy and love. And so there's some things that was really asked of me to share with you as we are in this Libra time of relationships, because it's not just about finding that balance in the world, but it's also about finding that balance in ourselves. And when we have that piece where we're like not in the balance because we didn't move that big thunky weight enough, or we moved it too much for somebody else, then we're out of balance. We ourselves are out of balance because we're giving too much, or we're putting too much expectation on someone else, or we're allowing them to take too much from us. We need to look at a boundary. So it's about being in balance in ourselves. And so when you have this piece where it feels like your heart is not in balance because you are not in balance, you are not in alignment in that situation, this is the time for you to take that time, especially in this waning moon, these next 14 days, to be able to look at how do I shift myself to get myself back in alignment, to get myself back in balance with me, with what is feeling right for me in that relationship. And then you can reflect that back to the person, the other person in the relationship. And the thing that was so interesting is that I made all these shifts myself. The other person never even noticed. I mean, I think they noticed when they were in the doghouse with me, but, oh, little blinky light to confirm. I know they noticed when they were in the doghouse with me, but when I made that energy shift for myself, they didn't notice. They just thought everything was okay again, which is fine. I don't need them to notice because that was my work that I needed to do for me. And so I'm sharing all of this because I've been asked to share all of this because I hope it will help to bless you and to help you really look at what expectations may need to be released and just how you're viewing different relationships as we're coming through this waning time of the full moon of the Libra moon cycle. So, all right, I'm going to attempt to shuffle some cards. I have not shuffled in a week. I'm going to attempt to shuffle some cards, and part of, yeah, okay, all right, not sure how long I can do that, but we're gonna do our best. Part of what happened is because I hit the ground so hard on my hands was that my wrists and my thumb joints, like in through here and through here, and so, were really bruised up. And so it made it quite hard for me to like hold a jar and open a bottle, which is really inconvenient when you're cooking for 20 people for Passover. So the gripping of the cards and the shuffling part is, I still feel that pain in my hand. So we're gonna do our best. So we'll shuffle a little slow. Hi, kitten. All right, so we're gonna have which animal spirit is with us today? And the animal spirit that's with us today is Polar Bear. Don't you just love the cards? I mean, it's like they listen to our conversation. So this is Polar Bear, and I love this because over at Disney's Animal Kingdom, they do these, especially around the holiday time, they do these big puppets, kind of like the Lion King Broadway show kind of puppets. And there's a polar bear, and he kind of looks a lot like this. He's more decorated with like stars and stuff on him, but there's those angular lines. And so the polar bear, it says, stand up for yourself. Speak your truth respectfully and compassionately with no attachment to outcome. And I'm just such a giggle because is that literally not what we just finished talking about? Was that hello. So this is literally what we just finished talking about. Stand up for yourself. Speak your truth respectfully and compassionately and with no attachment to outcome. So the things that we were talking about, is I shifted all of those things for myself. It wasn't for the other person. It was for myself. And, that benefit, whether, they knew about it or not, it didn't matter. It was just about, changing that energy, that alignment for myself, right? So, all right. So let's see if we can shuffle these other cards. We're going to stick with Colette Baron Reed's Wisdom of the Oracle today. And we'll see if we can shuffle. And her cards are thicker. And we'll see how far I can go. We're going to do a couple cards for a collective reading, which is for everyone. And then we'll see if we can do some individual cards as well. So hello, Michelle. Hello, Christian. I see your request. We will see what we can do to accommodate. So I'm still having some pain in my hands. It's making shuffling difficult, but we will. Okay. All right. So we'll try and do the best that we can, and then I'll, stay as long as I can do that, but I don't want to hurt, myself. We do have a jumper card that comes right away. And this, I love this because this is the happy card. This is the happy card. This is so great because this is a reminder of that everything is okay. But it's also this reminder to stay in gratitude, to stay in that place of love and gratitude. And remember what we talked about before, is that the noise is smaller. It seems bigger because it's very loud. But the noise is smaller than the goodness, the peace, the serenity, the respect, the tolerance, the love, the compassion, that undercurrent that really is growing. It is smaller. It is bigger, but but it is softer. It's like that saying, walk softly but carry a big stick, something like that. So the light workers and the people who are aligned with the light are walking softly. We are walking softly, but we carry a big stick, not to hit anybody with. But the people who are in fear and the people who feel the rumbling, they are not walking softly, but they don't have a big stick and they don't have the numbers, okay, which is why they're yelling so loudly. So this is this reminder to stay in gratitude, to stay in that place of love and gratitude, right? So that we are okay. We are okay. All right, so we have the next card is going to be community. Love that. What number was this card? This card was 26. Oh, that's very interesting. So the happy card is 26, which is 8. 2 and 6 together is 8. And so then the next card that I pulled is community, which is also 8. So that is very, very interesting. And so this is, again, this reminder that we are stronger together. We are absolutely stronger together. Now, this is collective reading, but it is also for you personally that we are stronger together. If you are, going through something right now, find alignment with your people, find your soul tribe, because we are so much stronger together. We are so much stronger together, and I really just love this because it's really like, if you look at the card, it's like a little house, and you've got the mama giraffe and the baby giraffe, but we are so stronger together. Okay, so we are all in it together, right? Okay, so one more card for our community is is round and round. This is card number 25. And 2 and 5 is 7. So really right in the middle of the walk, right? Because we have like the 1 through 10 of, which is like the epitome of the journey, right? And the start of the journey, and it's the 1, and you move through, and 5, 6, you're getting to the top, the big challenge, and then 7, 8, and you're coming, down, and you've crossed the biggest hurdle. And like if you look at the hero's journey, right? And you're coming back down, and you're coming home, and coming victorious, and all of those things. So we're really in the 7 and 8 today, which is so exciting because that reminds us again that we are okay. And this is round and round. And so here we have this image, this sacred geometry image, right, of this shell that goes around and around. But you see the same shapes. We come around to the same places each time. This is because we're constantly evolving. We're constantly moving forward. We are moving up, right? Even though we're coming around to do the same thing year after year, time after time, whatever. If you're like saying to yourself, I've been here before, I've seen this before, why does this keep happening to me? Because you're learning this lesson at a higher level. Okay, either you haven't learned the lesson yet, and that's something you may want to look at, is like, why does this continue to happen? Or what am I learning different? How can I see this from a different perspective? Which is literally what I did with this relationship that I was sharing about before. How do I see this from a different perspective? Okay, so I've been here before. I've been here before. We all can say that. We've all been here before. How do we see this from a different perspective, right? Okay, so Christian Mercer had asked first, and then Michelle Williams had asked. So Christian, are you still with us? Please let me know in the comments so that we can do a reading for you. This is, could you please do my first reading? So I don't know if that means you have never had one, but if you are still here, please give me a thumbs up or something in the comments. We're going to pull a card for you, and then we'll pull for Michelle Williams, and then because I know we have a couple Michelles. So in that we have, for Christian, we have serendipity, and this is card number 18. So 8 and 1 is 9. So serendipity. So this is this reminder that all things work together for good. This is the reminder that there's no such thing as coincidence, that things are happening exactly as they should. So this is, and this actually just came in upside down, which is the alignment. So it's a, reminding you, instead of telling you what is happening, it's a reminder of what could happen. Okay, so this is a reminder that all the things are working together for you, Christian, but it's making sure that you're not overlooking. And especially with coincidence, people tend to look over those things so quickly and just dismiss them. And for me, I think that there's no such thing as coincidence. It is all serendipity. It's the universe is trying to get our attention, whether that's our angels, our guides, ascended masters, our loved ones in spirit. They're all trying to get our attention so that we can get information so that they can help us be aligned. But see, here's the thing. Everything that we do, every path, every choice, every decision, every, turn that we make in our life, there's no wrong turn. There's no wrong turn. People say, oh, I did that wrong. No, you didn't. You just learned something. There's no wrong turn, because you will find your way back to the places where you were intending to be, or your soul intended to be, or you were meant to be. You will find your way to those places. You may, loop it around, Jeremy bury me, do a couple U-turns, but there's no wrong turns, okay? Everything is designed to move you forward. There's nothing that's like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. There's no such thing as dead ends. We learn and we turn, okay? So this serendipity card is reminding you to give some trust to the universe and to give faith and understanding that truly all things work together for good. And those serendipity events are really trying to get your attention to say, hey, look over here. I can't snap. Hey, look over here. So I can't snap on the side. All right. So it is a good card. It is a good card, Christian. All right. So we're going to do for Michelle, my friend Michelle. Pink Cadillac sister. All right, so we have for Michelle, time to go. And this is card 45. Is that right? Yes, 45. So 4 and 5 is 9. So Michelle, this is talking about the potential end of a journey, end of a chapter. Hi, Jamie. So this is something that maybe is the shifting of a relationship, as we were talking about relationships before. So this is something that is coming to the end for you. And so what I want to encourage you is, don't resist it. Don't fight it. We get so caught up in the, oh my gosh, I can't hold on to that status quo, right? Like we were talking about, that we resist the change. And something better is waiting around the corner when we can allow the cycle to finish. We can allow the door to close, because the next thing will present itself and will be magnificent and light-filled when we can trust. We get so afraid of closing a door because we think the next one won't be there to open. And so this is, again, that faith in the universe and just knowing that it's time for you to allow the shift to take you forward, wherever you are with that. But this is not a bad thing. And it can be really, I feel, about a relationship. I don't feel like it's like, there's something that's, there's like something sour in my heart right there, Michelle. Like a little, it's like a betrayal. It feels like something feels sour in my heart, but it's not, I'm going to tell you what it's not. I want to say to you that it is so handleable, but the way I feel like with this is, let it go to unfold how it is meant to unfold. Because the thing I feel like is that you're trying to hold on to how the status quo is, and they're really encouraging you to just let it go and see what happens. It's like letting go of the balloon, which is environmentally not good, but letting go of the balloon and just seeing which direction it goes. Okay. Although I do think that now they have environmentally sensitive balloons. That is off. But anyway, whatever it is that you're holding on to and resisting that change, just release it, because it's going to be for your benefit. It's going to be for your benefit. So you're very welcome, my friend. Very welcome. Okay, so after Michelle, we have Miss Chris Judd. So we're going to go with Chris, and then we'll have the other Michelle. So Sipo Hestu. Okay, I know I just butchered your name, and I'm so sorry. Could you please, you will be next after Chris and Michelle. Could you please phonetically type your name so that I can pronounce it correctly for you, because that is energetically important and also respectful. So we'll have Chris Judd and Michelle Krantz, and then our friend from South Africa. All right, so Chris Judd, we have the Fates. The Fates. This is card 17. So it's 1 and 7 is 8. So this is the Fates. So this again is just a reminder to trust with that, especially because I know Chris a bit. Chris and I have been friends for a long time. I want to say that what comes through right now is this grip. It's like a piece of paper that is sticking up in the top and the bottom that you've kind of throttled and with a fist, and so you've got this crumpled paper at the top and the bottom, is this image that I have in my head. And so again, like what we said for Michelle, is releasing that need to control everything, releasing, allowing things to unfold. Like literally, that's the word they're giving me, is unfold. Holding the current situation with an open hand so that we're not feeling like we have to control everything, because holding with an open hand will allow the fates to be much more maneuverable on your behalf. When we get like a fairy or a fate in our hand and we're like, do my bidding, make it work, we squish out their power, we can hurt them. It's like holding, think like holding a fairy or holding a lightning bug in your hand. You want to be very gentle, or a butterfly, you don't want to squish it, right? And so it's hard, because when we're in places of transition, we want to just, I need to know what's going on. And, oh my gosh, and my Instagram, I'm so sorry, I dropped my phone again. I literally just don't have the hand strength on my left hand to attach this to my computer. Sorry, Instagram people. Okay, so this is this reminder to you to shh, buddy. So this is the reminder for you to hold things with an open hand, and it's a reminder for you to allow things to unfold, literally to unfold. So I'm going to leave that with you. There's someone at my door. Thank goodness my son is home. So, all right, so we're going to leave that with you. Where did we leave off with Chris? Okay, so we have Michelle Krantz is up. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, is that Margie? Thank you. Okay, so we have Michelle. And si pour c'est-tu. Thank you. That's beautiful when you know how to say it. Okay, so Michelle Krantz. Michelle Krantz. So we have for Michelle TikTok. We have 30. The card is 30. So TikTok. So this is this reminder for you to get going. This is a reminder for you to get going, and this feels familiar to me. Like we've talked about this. Go. Like we've talked about this before, about that you were ready to jump and it was time to make a move. And so maybe I'm misremembering, but it feels very familiar. So this is TikTok. This is the time is now. It's time for you to make a move, and don't let this time pass you by. There's never, we were talking about before, perfect timing. All things work together for good. If you miss this window, another window will come, but it will be a different window. And so this is really where we're talking about is allowing yourself to be carried on the guides of the universe. Let the wave of success that's trying to carry you now, that's saying, hey, we're here. It's like surfers. If you've ever watched surfers, they paddle out and they wait for that wave. They wait for that wave to come, and they look, and they're looking, and they're like, here comes the wave, and they have to time it perfectly where they paddle and they hop up at the right time so that they can get up on that wave right at the right time. And so, Michelle, this is time. Start paddling, girl. Start paddling, because that wave is coming and you want to get on it. Don't miss it. Okay. All right. So, Chris Judd, you are very welcome. All right. Si pour c'est-tu. I like that. That's so interesting. I love interesting names. When my kids were going to be born, the list of names that I presented to my husband, he laughed me out of the bed, but I didn't want anything normal or boring for my kids. They don't have boring names, but they're not named Sunshine or Moonshine or anything like that either. But I'm always fascinated by names. So thank you for sharing. So for my new friend Si pour c'est-tu, we have Flexible. And this is card number 19, but it comes in upside down. So 1 and 9 is 10. So again, it may be the end of a journey or just the end of a chapter for you, but it's flexible. This is a reminder, as we're going to turn it right side up, is a reminder for you to be flexible, to allow. Again, we see these themes every week. The folks that come in and ask for cards, we see these themes of, that kind of flow through the collective of all of the cards that pull for you. But this is, again, this reminder of doors are closing, new doors will open. Allow that. And it may not be, I can take that back. I guarantee it won't look exactly like what you expect or envision. It never looks exactly like what we envision, because the universe can do so much more. And so I think last week or a few weeks ago, I told the story of when I earned my first pink Cadillac as a director in Mary Kay. For years and years, Mary Kay only offered this DeVille, a sedan, like a four-door car. And so when I had earned my Cadillac, it was an SUV, which was a great choice for our family, and we really had the choice of the two cars. But as this car sat in my driveway, this pink SUV, and nowadays you can only get the SUV, I kept looking out my window and staring at the car in the driveway, and my husband kept saying, "What are you doing?" I'm like, he's like, "You can't believe it's there?" And I'm like, "No, I believe it's there. It just doesn't look like what I envisioned. It doesn't look like what I thought," because I had envisioned the DeVille, because for all the years prior to that, that was all that you could get. The SUV was brand new when it came my time, when I had that opportunity. And so I never even thought about the SUV until now we were presented with this choice. So it didn't look like what I expected. It was better. It was better. And so this is that reminder for my new friend, Siporsa, to be flexible, because the universe is trying to show you something, is trying to give you something better. So what you have envisioned in your mind is probably not going to be exactly what shows up. It's going to be better. But our job is to be flexible, to let them move those cogs of the universe around so that they can put all the ducks in a row for us. That's where we get in the way, is we say, no, I want it to look like this. It's supposed to look like this. I envisioned it looking like this. Why doesn't it look like this? And they're over here going, because we're trying to do something better for you. We're trying to do something better. So let them be flexible. Be flexible. Okay. Did we get everybody? Okay. All right. So in the interest of my poor little hands today, I'm going to say, Jamie, did you want a card? I saw you said hello, but I didn't see anything more. So in the interest of protecting my little hands today, I'm so grateful to be back with you. I'm so happy to see all your names and your little bubbles pop up, and I love you all so very much. And I want you to understand that while it seems loud right now and it feels like maybe things are not like we are okay. We are okay. So let me pull one more card for my friend Janie, because I didn't want you are so welcome, my new friend, and I didn't want you to get missed. So Janie gets a fork in the road, and this is card number 13. So a fork in the road. And now this card also came in upside down, which is this alignment, okay? So reminding you to trust your guts, listen to the signs, look for those synchronicities that we've already talked about. There is no wrong choice. There is no wrong choice. If you go this way and it's the wrong way, the road's going to curve you back. If you're supposed to go this way and you don't go that way, the road's going to curve you back, okay? There is no wrong choice. Okay, so allow your heart, your instincts, your guides, your loved ones in spirit, all of these entities that have your best interests at heart. For all of you, the people who loved us here on earth, they love us in spirit. And the people who maybe weren't so great to us here on earth, they understand it better now. Okay? The folks, whether they're angels or guides, ascended masters, our loved ones, our pets, whoever it is, divine consciousness, on the other side, past the veil where our human eyes can see and our human brain can understand, there is only love. There is nothing else out there. And so when we lean into the power of the universe, we lean into the signs that our guides and our loved ones are showing us, we are leaning into love, because there is nothing else. Trust them. All of these things, the fork in the road, time to go, be flexible, synchronicity, all of these things are showing us we're not alone. Trust them. They've got our back. We are guided. Our job is to take off the blinders and be able to see the signs and the things that they are showing us, right? Our job is to live with as open a heart and open a mind as we possibly can, because they are there to show us. Yes? So, fork in the road for you, my friend. All right. I thank you all so very much. I look forward to being back with you next Monday, where I won't hurt so much. And I'm looking forward to being with you on Thursday evening for meditation. And this past Thursday, we just couldn't do it because we were cooking for 20 people for Passover on Friday night, and with my hands being what they were, cooking was going a little bit slow. So we just need a little extra time for that. So I look forward to being back with you on a Thursday evening right here for some meditation and just, maybe 15 to 30 minutes of little chat, little breath, just to relax and help you get through the week and finish the week in a peaceful place, right? And you are welcome, Janie. And for all of you, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for spending some time. And always, always, always know how very much you are loved. Have a beautiful week. Happy full moon. Happy post-Easter Passover, Ramadan, all the wonderful, beautiful things. Love you. Have a beautiful week. I'll see you soon.